Another thing I really didn't like was Natalie Portman's character, and the other set of characters who were with her. Now, I know that there's a lot of people, Natalie Portman fans in this world, and I have to say something. I think Natalie Portman should be ashamed of herself. You can say all you want, I'm gonna stand by my point. She should be ashamed of herself. She just won an Oscar, and she's in a comic book film, which is basically a film that I think has been directed in the completely wrong way. I mean, come on. When you reading the script, that's all I gotta say about Natalie Portman before anyone sends death threats. Let's just leave that out. The other parts of the film, yeah, Natalie Portman's character seemed pointless enough. I guess it was just a character in the comic book film. I mean, in the comic books, but I don't read the comics, and I didn't read up much about her character in Wikipedia. I just couldn't be bothered, because I just really couldn't be bothered. The other thing that I really didn't like was like the two other people who were with Natalie Portman's character. What did they do the whole film? Well, there's the teenage, early 20s girl, I think. She poses a big threat for comedy relief in the film. No, she is the comedy relief. Oh my god, I just realized the whole film is filled with comedy relief. Oh my god. This is why, I guess this is a good job anyway. Anyway. The girl who, was cast alongside Natalie Portman's character, oh my god, I hated her. And she was like a big threat to the film, and though she didn't do that much harm, still made me hate. Still, I don't know why, I just hated her. I guess I hate comedy relief most of the time. And then there was the other guy, the head scientist guy. What? He did nothing the whole film. All he did, all he was a deus, was just something to help make the plot move along. All he did was just make the plot move along, and then he was forgotten. What character? I don't even remember what his name was. Yeah, he was a good character in the. Yeah, I bet he had I bet he had a bit of history in the comics. Nothing happened in the film. He did nothing, except for that one moment, and that was it. Nothing else. Alright, and what I said about earlier about comedy relief. Yeah. There was the other god, Thor's friends. Oh, Jesus. They were possibly the worst of the film. I hate having to. Thor was bad enough trying to be an arrogant dick without his powers, but then there were the people who worked for the place, Asgard. Yeah, it was Asgard, and they just came along and then they did their thing. Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. They just came and then they came to our world, and then more comedy relief, and it was annoying. Really annoying. And I guess there are some mindless people, there are mindless teenagers, this is like me, who find that funny. It's not funny. It's just not funny. I don't like having. There's the big bearded guy. He's a stereotype because he's big. Fat. Big fat red bearded dude who eats a lot. Stereotype. There's the female warrior who's stronger, who's just as strong as the men, who has something for us. She did nothing the whole film, and then when she was about to die, she was about to kill herself because she wanted people to know her name. Bitch. Even though there's two reasons why I hate her. She's part of the comedy relief group, she's a stereotype, and she's a bitch. And then there was this guy with this British guy with he was blonde and a beard. I really don't know what he did. All he did was get stabbed and he somehow survived. He was part of the comedy relief and he was just a complainer and I didn't like him. And then there was this one other guy. This Asian guy. And surprisingly, he gave me... Yeah, in the film, like, they say Asgard's like a... Yeah, I know this, like, not in the... I know it's common sense that Asgard is pretty much just, like, part of Norwegian religion or something. Why is there an Asian man in the part? And then he didn't even speak that much, not even like a real line. And then people just I guess he was put in the, I don't even know if he was in the comics, but if he wasn't, then he was purely made up by some writer who thought it would be funny to just like take a comedy, just make an Asian character, put him in the scenario, just so they could say one joke about him when he got into the real world. One reason for me to hate him. Man, oh man! Don't you dare call me a racist. Anyway, yeah, those people were the worst part of the film. Let me say one more positive about the film. Idris Elba, the gatekeeper guy, yeah, even though he did very little in the film, he surprisingly seemed to have so much impact on my viewings. He was surprisingly badass, even though he did nothing. And I've heard like there's been a bit of controversy about his role, but I don't know what it is. I think it's got something to do with him being just like some black guy who does nothing but follow his orders. That's probably it. But he was surprisingly one of the best characters, even though he had little to 15 minutes of screen time. Make that 20. That's where I'm gonna cut my review, and yeah, I'm gonna give my rating. I thought the film had its ups and downs, but overall, I didn't like it. Some people liked it. You may hate me for not liking it. I'm entitled to my own opinion. You're entitled to your own. And you have no rights to make me believe in your one, unless I agree with it. And if it's a positive one, I don't. I honestly didn't like the film. Case closed. That's definitely a good way to start my show. Make a really bad movie review. There might be a few more coming. Anyway, we're going to continue. So yeah, thanks for tuning into the show, and my rating for this film, Thor, 4 out of 5. So yeah, it was the first one to come out. Yeah, that was a good sign for like comic book films coming out this year. Anyway, didn't like Thor, but there's still 2 more films I'm gonna come out, and one more film to come out until it's all completed. Thanks for tuning into the show. See you today.